Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Rank Class. This week I'll be talking about how to de-escalate a situation. So de-escalating a situation is something that I believe every person needs to learn. It's something we will all be using in our life, at home, private, publicly. It will happen at times where you have to take a situation and get it on the right foot again. And as soon as I say de-escalate, you probably think of a picture of a staircase where you can see a person going up and down the stairs, and every time they go up and down, they step on a new word. And it's a pretty good image of what it all is about, because you don't just explode, you often have stages before you get to that point. But the way to get there differs from person to person, and some might jump over 4 steps to go immediately to the top. And the reason I'm making this episode is some time ago I saw a sad video of some police who went very crazy over a girl. I believe she was between age 6 or 8, had taken a doll from a $1 store without her parents knowing. And you see civilians around yelling to the police, hey, try to de-escalate the situation, who were dealing with the situation like they were dealing with an armed robber or something like that. And it made me rethink some of the situations I've been in, where I have been thinking, did I do something wrong, or did someone else do something wrong? And since I do work at schools, I do often take care of kids who are having a hard time or having some problems. That is why I'm in the classroom, to help them. So I'll be trying to talk about 2 episodes, and the episodes might sound super vague, since I can't say any details, like gender, age, or anything, since by law I cannot talk about what happens at my work. So if I want to talk about something that happened at work, I have to leave out details, so the episode cannot be traced back to the person. So the first episode is with a kid who had a hard time in class and often got into conflicts. So one day I was walking down the hall when this kid walked past me with 2 scissors and held them open with hands on the one blade and the other like a stabby knife blade, and said that he hated the other students and some classmates, and he wanted to hurt them, to teach them a lesson. Then the teacher yelled from the other end of the hall that we had to take the scissors away from this kid. I then kneeled in front of the kid and began talking, trying to de-escalate the student's thoughts and mood. Sadly, before I got a chance to peacefully take the student down the steps of the stair, another adult began to yell at the kid, telling the kid to drop the scissors, and it made the kid go into a panic mode. Like, you could see in the eyes that the kid felt super cornered, so the kid then took one scissor and began swirling it at me, and ending up stabbing me in the wrist. So I took the hand that just stabbed me, and while I did that, the kid then slashed me on the same wrist but on the other side, and I still have 2 small scars on my left hand from that. But then I held both hands and I was able to disarm the student, and to make sure that none of the other students or adults were able to keep escalating the situation, I lifted the kid against the kid's will and took the kid into an office where there was only me and that kid. I then closed the door, and we were now alone. I had to hold the kid for some time. While doing that, I got a headbutt, so my glasses broke. But while sitting there, I was able to slowly de-escalate the situation, and within 15 minutes, the kid and I was just sitting, chatting. So when the parents came to pick up the child about half an hour later, after all had started, the kid was so calm that the parents had a hard time believing that all the stuff actually had happened. So what to learn from that story? Well, always keep calm, always try to talk in a normal voice, and to look at body language. And no matter how much you get hurt, or how angry you get, you need to keep calm always. And if you're dealing with a person who is at the top of the stairs, it can help to isolate the person so other people can't keep escalating the situation, since that is basically what started this in the first place, another adult yelling at the kid. So the next episode, I was teaching in another class when one of my students came in and telling me that another kid was making problems. And I was lucky, I was in there with another teacher. And I then walked out because I knew the other student to see what was happening. And the student who came into me was right. This one student was having a hard time. And the teacher in that class didn't have time to go after this one kid because there was 26 other kids sitting in the classroom. So you have to take care of the mass instead of the one. So when I approached the kid, I could see that he was hurling stuff around tables and lockers and stuff like that. And in good faith, some other students actually tried to talk to the kid and try to make it better, but all they did was actually making it worse. So when I showed up, I asked the kid what was wrong, but the kid was so far up the stairs to just talk down and with all the others around. So when the kid ran outside, I began to push and hurl bikes. I told all the other kids to go away. And then from a distance, I began calmly talking to the kid. And the kid did not like me trying to stop what it was doing, to actually help it, and said some very hurtful things to me and some verbal abuse. But I actually had to go out to the kid and stop the kid because the kid was still a danger to other kids and stuff around. So I saw that the only way to get this kid down were again to try and isolate the kid. So I walked out to the kid and took my hand and took his hand in my hand and then guided the kid while he was still kicking me and punching me and yelling at me. I slowly walked him to a place where we could be alone. Then we sat down. I was still holding his hand so he couldn't escape. And we began slowly talking. And the kid slowly began to tell me that something was wrong. But the kid was still so far up the stairs that the kid couldn't think clearly about what was going on, because the problem was so big for the kid that it just filled everything. And then I released my grip and the kid ran off and ran into the library and began to fling books away. So I had to walk up to the kid again, and I cornered the kid at a door, and then I pushed the kid up against the door, and then I sat down in front of the kid, kneeling in front of the kid, and in a calm voice talked about how I just wanted to help and find out what was wrong so I could help. And then I hugged the kid, and the kid then began to cry. And I was now able to get the kid down to the bottom steps, telling me what was wrong. And I found out what had triggered the anger and what had happened before. And when the bell rang and they had to go home or stay in after school caretaking, the kid was actually ready to stay after school to have fun with the friends. And the only reason I succeeded in this were that we were 2 adults in my class. And I wish there was enough money so you can get 2 adults in all classes where you have over 20 kids, since it just takes 1 kid to mess up a class. But if there's 2 adults, then one of the adults can actually help that 1 kid. But here again, what is important is to talk calmly and keep telling the person that you're actually trying to help them. Make them believe that you're actually there to help them. And again, don't raise your voice, don't become angry, don't begin to yell, because it will only make things worse. You have to always stay calm, and then you can be mad as hell afterwards. Because after an event like that, as an adult, you get pumped up with adrenaline and thoughts and ideas, and afterwards you might actually just sit down and begin to shake a bit because your entire body is reacting and you're going over a replay in your mind of what did you do? Did you do it right? Did you do it wrong? And here it is actually important for you to talk with someone about this, because otherwise it will slowly build up and then in the end it might break you. So I do hope those stories actually gave an idea of what to do if you ever find yourself in a position like this. And remember, if you are good and you know the people around you, you can often see on their face and their body language before they reach the middle of the stairs. You can actually sense it on them. So it's important to look before what happened and look while it happens, so you can learn to the next time. So if you want to talk to me about this episode or other episodes, you can come chat with me on Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, or Patreon. Just search Rant Class. And if you want to listen to more episodes, you can find them on YouTube and all podcast sites. And I wish you all a very nice day.